Well, welcome. We're really excited for this Cove Youth webinar. This is Unite East. If you're looking for East Coast information, this is the place to be. If you're looking for West Coast information, go check out the recording. It's on Cove Youth. But we're really excited you're here. In the chat, we'd love for you to feel free to ask any questions that you might have today. And we'd love to hear where you're coming from, what church or conference that you are affiliated with. But we're really glad you're here today. We've got lots of really great information. I don't know if I've shared on Ruby Fargeese, and I'm sure you've seen me on other things, but I serve on the interim youth team and serve on our ministerium and lots of other things. But I'm excited to
credential list. Ruby.
Yeah.
For the Covenant Church in so many ways.
Eric Anderson wrote it all on a slide at Midwinter, and it was so funny.
Your bottom third list, yeah, for sure.
It was, the list went on. But anyways, we've got lots of updates. Eric is here joining me. You might notice that my other sidekick, Jen, is not here. He is really sad to miss, but he is celebrating Amber's graduation at North Park. And so we're really excited for Amber and the Eaton family. Mm-hmm. So we will survive without them. But Eric, let's hear about Unite East updates.
Absolutely.
What's going on?
Very excited to share some stuff with you. I'm going to start with a reminder. One, you can see the entire Unite East speaker lineup at covechurch.org/unite and click the speaker little thing in the drop-down menu on the right-hand side to see who is going to be with us this summer. We could be more excited. And Jordan, amazingly, as he always does, I just put it in the chat right now. But we've been praying, discerning about who's going to join us to really pour into our students, you as leaders, and your volunteers this summer. And we couldn't be more thrilled for who God has brought us to be part of this event at Bowling Green State University this summer. So that's one as a reminder. Two things to keep an eye out for is our worship band. We'll be releasing that information here shortly. We're really excited. I'm not going to tease anything else there out, but it is really, we're thrilled how God's going to move in those spaces and those individuals. And also we have finalized, a few tweaks we're making still, our afternoon seminars. So every afternoon, when you're between 2 and 4 p.m., there's going to be seminars that students and leaders can engage in. And we are thrilled about the offerings. And they're everything from North Park University talking about theological things to, spaces and seminars about what is it looking to go into ministry, ministry 101 and 102. Like, if God's calling me to this, how can I learn more about that? And so we're going to be really excited to share that information with you. And it'll be great. We'll also have a web-based app when we're on site to kind of really, push out the descriptions while we're on site and location. So really, really excited for those spaces and what it looks like. We even have an esports seminar for this year at Unite East only. Don't tell Unite West. It's only happening at Unite East. But we're really excited because it's a whole, I don't know if you know, North Park is leading it. They have an esports team.
Wow.
Super cool. So really thrilled that they're going to be joining us and kind of walking through what that looks like. So yeah, there's going to be so many different things, even about like self-care. What does it look like to find myself in God's calling, and even like global mission. So there's going to be a lot of really cool things that we offer to students as they, not only engage the main sessions, but really to have an opportunity to see kind of like a deeper, deeper well of discipleship throughout the week. So super excited about that. And for our volunteer leaders to be a part of that too, the ones that you're bringing, that they can experience that with those students and to have those conversations as they're kind of processing all that God's moving in their lives that week. So really excited about that. I do want to bring up, and I'm actually going to kick it to you again at this point, is scholarships are still available.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to teleport myself to Unite East because it sounds phenomenal as far as the speakers and the workshops go. And I'm just really excited for those resources to get out to our churches. Yes, registration. We have past our early bird registration date, but there's still room to sign up. And so we know that there's all sorts of conversations that are happening out there with students and even leaders. And so please do, as soon as you know, sign your folks up. We wanted to bring to your attention, if you don't already know, that out of the generosity of many people, we have scholarships available. And so every Unite liaison, many of them also serve as our coaches for our conferences, have 33 vouchers that they hold for $150 each. And these are scholarships for anyone who might foresee a barrier in their finances to get to Unite. We want to create access. And so all you need to do is reach out directly to your Unite liaison and let them know about your needs. And if they have stuff available, they'll get it to you and get you a code. And then as you're registering your students, you can put that code in when you register. Or if you've already registered students and you're like, oh man, this student could really use this scholarship, you can contact Chelsea and she can help you figure out how to get that discount code in for that student. And so these are available to you, but it's also first come, first serve. So if you see needs, make sure you contact your coaches if they have not already reached out to you. Yeah. So this is a really important piece of getting to Unite.
Yeah. I would say, I think like we said in the last webinar, and you kind of touched on it a second ago, it's like, I think if you still have a student who's on the fence, like, you know, where they're like, I'm not going to go, and it's about money and resources and, you know, the ability to have access to it. Those are the kind of stories and students that these scholarships can also still go towards. So I would just encourage you to connect with those students and families. Say, hey, you know what? I know we had this conversation. You said no because of, you know, some of the hurdle of finances. This is a great opportunity for you to kind of circle back with them and say, hey, you know what? Yeah. We think we have these available, and if you're up for it, we want to partner with you to help get your student.
Yeah. So, and it's hard to ask for help. And so I think just being prepared for how you approach scholarships with your students and families is really important. This is an investment made by people in our denomination for the sake of this generation. And so I think it's so critical. We want every student possible to be there. So yeah, definitely access that. Leaders, you also have some work to do. And so we want to just remind you to make sure you're checking out your training and getting your background checks done. And especially for, well, I guess this doesn't pertain to Unite East. This is only Unite West. So you guys are lucky because you don't have to do fingerprints. But make sure you get your leader prep done. Making sure that you get your heart, soul, and mind checked before you go, and all your paperwork is done. Yeah. Also, don't forget, we have a Unite website that has tons of information on it. So like Eric said, if you want to hear about who our speakers are, and eventually when we get word out about our worship teams, that will be there. But also, everyone's going to want to know what's the schedule. And so definitely check out Cov Youth or the website for the daily schedule. How about, is there anything else when it comes to registration, Eric, that we need to add?
The extended housing one is why we always keep bringing that up. That form and link is in both covyouth.com in the resource section when it comes to Unite. To make sure that you kind of make sure to fill those out and kind of what the stipulations and requirements are there. So just want to make sure that if you're planning on coming a day early or a day late, just make sure you check that out and fill that form out. And especially if you're partnering with other churches to help fulfill that leader requirement ratio. I've been talking to a lot of churches who, you know, they don't have the exact ratio for gender for their students. They're partnering with other churches. And so that's also helpful to kind of make sure when it says that little box of like, what else we need to know, make sure you like kind of list the churches you're partnering with so we can make sure we assign the housing block right. So when you get on site.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did notice that many people are asking the questions about like, what does the campus look like? And I know that our Unite East team has taken a ton of pictures. And so I think Eric Cave was attempting to download some of those photos on Cov Youth so you can check them out. But also another trick is you can actually look up the campus website, and oftentimes they have like tour videos or photos that you can check out. I did that for San Diego State when I was going to do a site visit, and those are great things to share with your students.
Absolutely.
There's a bunch of key documents that you should check out if you haven't already, but like I mentioned, leader prep documents are under our resource page. There's also information about kind of these next steps in registration. And then there's also information about Unite East transportation. And there is a shuttle service. The cost is $25 per person per direction and $100 per group. And a deposit is required. There is a form to fill out. It's a Unite East transportation form. So make sure you check that out to make sure that's all tied up together. And then, like Eric mentioned, if there's any extended housing needs, make sure you also fill out the link. And that's $50 per person per night for housing. And then there's also another link for our program volunteers. And so if there are individuals in your churches or in your conference that are looking to volunteer, they can fill out a form and we'll reach out to see if there's some spaces available to plug them in. But get that done as soon as possible. So anything else, Eric, that you have?
That's it on my end. I think I'll also say this about covyouth.com. The conversations that, some youth pastors who are just really new to the covenant in the last, since we did UCHIC last time in 2018, that are kind of curious about where to find information. And there's a handful of them that just don't really engage or know about covyouth.com. So as you're talking to other colleagues and questions come up, I just keep pushing people towards this great resource, this community page. So not only is our covenant website helpful, but this is a great resource for questions, answers, communication, and just an overall community feel as we all prepare for this event.
Yeah. I noticed in the chat that Eric has dropped some photos in the air, or he's telling you where to go to check out pictures and videos of Unite East space. So that's ready for you. I also think, as you're preparing to go, to continue to invite your congregation to be praying for students. Think about intentional ways to say thank you to your congregation for supporting your team and attending Unite. And then also think about what does partnership look like in your conference. So maybe it's getting the youth pastors together, or it's getting all Unite attenders in your area together as a way to just pray and get psyched and maybe share information if you need that added support. Those are always good ways to kind of hype up your team for this big experience together.
Absolutely.
We're really excited for Unite. It was really fun. I was telling Eric that I don't usually get excited about things until I actually land on campus. And so we had the opportunity to be in San Diego maybe last weekend. I don't even know, 2 weekends ago. And I just was so excited about the thought of that campus being filled with students and leaders across our denomination, and for the East Coast as well. The Unite East team has been bragging about how beautiful and amazing the campus is there, and so excited to fill that space and see what God will do. As we're waiting to see if there's any more questions, I wanted to let you know about a couple of other things that are coming up. We do have our next Unite webinar coming up in June, but before that, we'll have our Cov Youth 101 webinar, and it's actually on leader self-care. And that's going to be really important, especially as you're taking kids to Unite. Right. Thinking about your rhythms and processes. And Michelle Belby and I will be hosting that together, and both of us are overseeing our human services teams, and especially we'll want to make sure that you are cared well for, and your students are as well. So stay tuned for that. That's May 23rd at 3 o'clock. And then May 24th, there's a youth ministry webinar, When Darkness Comes to Light, and Jim will post that information online for that. And definitely check out Unite Leader Quick Tips. There's lots of resources that our interim youth team have been curating, and they're just good practices in general for youth ministry, but I think specifically as you're preparing for Unite, there are things to think about around access and caring for kids in crisis and how to have intentional conversations. So definitely check that out. Here we go. Neil Vance. He said, thanks for all your work. You're welcome, Neil. Do we know what the housing assignment procedure will be like? And will we just be assigned to a block of rooms that fit our group number where we can coordinate our students in, or will we be assigned students specific rooms like Chicks passed ahead of time?
Yep. So we'll be working starting in June, Neil, with CIY for both sites when it comes to room assignment. So not only with the leaders and students, so you'll have that information as you prepare to bring your students, like when it be a little bit closer to the event, when it comes to dorm assignments, rooms, floors, and all that information will be communicated out.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Is there anything near campus to walk to for food and such?
Yeah, there's the ever favorite Chipotle nearby, and there's like a Starbucks, and there's things, and you can see the map there. Some of that Eric posted there. There's our local restaurants nearby, just across the street. But I will say, Bowling Green State University has great on-campus food. They actually were rated a platinum dining experience when it comes to what it looks like they like to dine on their campus. And we got to eat there, and they have so many options and so many things in their dining facility. So yes, there are things around, but since you're already paying for the food when it comes to registration and being there for the on-site, they have a great opportunities and resources for when it comes to on-campus dining for us.
Mm-hmm. Jess asked a great question. Is there anything specific we need to do in advance for students with food allergies like gluten?
Mm-hmm. That'll be in the medical release form. And then we'll have that information, but they do have gluten sensitive, like food allergies, like stations and whatnot in that area. So that they're able to accommodate students with all kinds of needs, dairy free, gluten free, and such.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Is there a Jeep factory nearby we can check out?
I'll let you Google that, Eric.
Yes, I'm sure there is. Yeah. It's the East Coast. They love their Jeeps.
Right.
Eric said there is.
I love how he's answering his own question. Like I think he's trying to bait us through it, but that's great. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we did talk about, maybe Bowling Green is not as wide of a stretch, but we talked about backpacks, and just kind of preparing our leaders for the day. And is it the same case at Bowling Green where leaders can bring their backpacks with them and students need to bring a drawstring bag?
Yep, we're just keeping that consistent for both environments. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have like a more thorough packing list, but I don't know about you, but I go into mama bear mode. And so whenever I go on a youth trip, I make sure I have all the supplies, a little bit of sunscreen, and make sure I have water and Band-Aids and just the essentials to get through. So pack your backpacks wisely. Right. Kendall Churchill, he said, roughly how many people are expected to attend Unite East?
Yeah, Jordan's going to be typing that information in the chat right now, and he nailed it. Like he always does. Yep. Yes. And so we're at 1,200 people, and we're actually praying and seeing where, as we've been seeing, there's always another bump up when it comes to that next sort of season of registrations. Yeah, my church just signed up
3 more people. So it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
So we're hoping for 1 million. That'd be awesome.
That would be something. I don't know. Yes.
Okay. Well, as you know, we are here to help out with any need be. I think the police are looking for me. There's a helicopter right above. But we just are super excited for you and your youth, and praying about what God is even doing now as you're preparing to come, and ending the school year, and what God will do at Unite. But I'm so excited for all the little pieces of the people who will be speaking, who will help lead worship, to the activities, to the spontaneous conversations as you're walking to and from events. We pray for holy and sacred conversations. So we're thankful for your yes, and we're here to be a support as you prepare to come to Unite East. So grateful for your time, and we hope that you'll find more resources on here that will be helpful to you.
And
have a good day.
Don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you later.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.